Today, we are diving into a threat that's lurking in pretty much every home. It's quiet, it's incredibly fast, and honestly, it's way more common than you'd probably guess. So let me ask you something. When you picture a total home disaster, what's the first image that comes to your mind? I bet for most of you, it's probably fire, right? Smoke, flames, the works. But what if I told you the biggest enemy is something else entirely? Yep, it's water. It sounds almost boring, but from a tiny little drip behind a wall to a big pipe bursting, water is hands down the most common cause of property damage. And the thing is, it's relentless. It gets into everything, and its power to destroy starts working way, way faster than you think. Take a look at this number. 48 hours. 2 days. That sounds like a pretty decent amount of time, doesn't it? But you know what? In the world of water damage, that number is a terrifying deadline. And that right there is the whole game. In just 2 days, that clean water leak can create the perfect breeding ground for mold. And suddenly, you're not just dealing with a water problem, you've got a hazardous material problem. The clock is always ticking. To really see how this plays out, let's zoom in on a real-world scenario. A place like Atlantic Beach, Florida is basically a case study in constant risk. You've got this perfect storm of environmental issues and structural vulnerabilities all coming together. Okay, so check this out. The environment itself is basically part of the problem. First, the humidity is almost always around 75%. That means things just never have a chance to dry out on their own. Then you throw in salty air that corrodes pipes, storm surges forcing water in, and high groundwater pushing up from below. I mean, the house is literally getting attacked by moisture from every angle. And it's not just nature. The buildings themselves add to the risk. A lot of the plumbing is ancient, dating back to the 60s. It's a ticking time bomb. The AC runs constantly, and if that condensation line gets clogged, boom, water in your ceiling. And get this, some of the foundations are made of a material that can literally soak up moisture like a giant sponge. It's a battle on all fronts. So you might think, hey, water is water, right? A leak is a leak. But that's a huge misconception. Where the water comes from is absolutely critical. It tells you everything about how dangerous the situation really is. The professionals have it all sorted into 3 categories. Category 1 is clean water, like from a broken water supply line. Low risk, at first. But remember that 48-hour clock? It can turn into Category 2 pretty fast. Category 2 is gray water. Think water from your dishwasher or washing machine. It's already got some gunk and bacteria in it. And then there's Category 3, black water. This is the really bad stuff. Sewage, floodwater, it's highly toxic and dangerous. Okay, so knowing all that, knowing the risks, the categories, and especially the speed, you can see why the professional response isn't just about mopping up. It's a full-on, high-stakes race against time. This quote right here, it perfectly sums up the entire industry's mindset. If you wait, the water spreads, it soaks deeper, and it starts that mold clock. So the only way to win is with immediate, decisive action. And there's a playbook for this. Step 1, they get there fast. We're talking within an hour of your call. Step 2, the big one, getting all the standing water out and then beginning the structural drying process. This takes a few days, usually 3 to 5. And only when it's scientifically proven to be dry do they move to step 3, putting your house back together again. Now, drying out a house. You might think it's as simple as opening some windows and setting up a few fans from the hardware store. But it's really not. It's actually a pretty sophisticated science. And that brings us to this, the IICRC certification. This is the gold standard. It means the technician isn't just guessing, they understand how moisture moves, how different materials dry, and how to stop microbial growth in its tracks. It's a huge deal. It's also super important to know the difference between these 2 terms. Mitigation is the emergency phase. It's like the first responders stopping the bleeding. Their only job is to prevent things from getting worse. Restoration, on the other hand, is the rebuilding process. That's when they actually fix and replace everything to get your home back to normal. And you can't do this work without the right gear. And I'm not talking about shop vacs. We're talking massive truck-mounted extractors that pull out unbelievable amounts of water. And they have technology like thermal cameras and moisture meters that let them literally see through your walls to find every last drop of hidden moisture. And here's where it gets really, really cool. It all comes down to a science called psychrometrics. It's the study of air and all its properties. The pros use these scientific principles to manipulate the environment inside your house, creating the absolute perfect conditions to pull moisture out of the structure as fast as humanly possible. So, the emergency is handled, the science is at work. What does that road back to normal actually look like? Well, it's about a lot more than just getting the walls dry. It's about making the whole chaotic process feel manageable. And this is maybe one of the most important parts. Dealing with the disaster is stressful enough. The last thing you want to do is fight with an insurance company. A good restoration company will handle all of that. They document everything and bill the insurance carrier directly, so all you have to worry about is your deductible. That is a massive weight off your shoulders. And here's a realistic look at how long it takes. That emergency part, the drying, that happens in the first week. But the actual rebuilding, putting everything back together, that can easily take a few more weeks. It's definitely a marathon, not a sprint. But in the end, this is the ultimate promise. The goal isn't just to fix the problem. It's to completely erase any sign that it ever happened. When it's done right, you should be able to walk into your home and have absolutely no idea that a disaster was ever there. Which brings us to one last question for you. Now that you know this whole thing is a science based on speed, what's one small thing you could do today to protect your own home? Maybe it's finally checking those old washing machine hoses, or just making sure you know where your main water shutoff valve is. One tiny action now could literally save you from all this chaos down the road.